Season 10 is about 2/3 of the way through, and our Lecce boys are flying high. Could we win the Serie B first time of asking? Let's find out. Hello and welcome back to another On The Med update with me, DeeBoiPlays. As mentioned, we are in Serie B with our boys Lecce, and we are absolutely fine. We're top of the league. Now, as things currently stand, you can see there we are only 1 point clear at the top, but we do have a game in hand on Spezia and Sassuolo, who are sitting beneath us. It's been a little touch and go recently with a few results, but overall, we've had a really solid campaign. You can see there, 20 wins, 5 draws, 3 losses, all 3 of them very frustrating. And we also had a really good cup run. Now, we joined the Coppa Italia this season in the first round, absolutely fine. We took it to extra time against Brescia, a little bit frustrating, but then we had a pretty clean run the whole way through. We successfully managed to beat Pisa, who are a Serie A team, worth bearing in mind. Managed to beat them 4-1. We beat Parma, who are a Serie A team, 1-0. So then obviously we were coming up against Inter Milan, and you can imagine how I felt about that. Heart dropped immediately on stream, but we gave it our best go, and we managed to get a 2-1 against them, which isn't that bad considering let's face it, it's Inter Milan. They're an incredible football team. What chance did we have? And outside of, like I say, a couple of little frustrating losses, we lost the opening game of the season to Frosinone 1-0, but we did get our own back a little bit later on in the season. We had a 3-0 loss to Pescara, which, honestly, came out of nowhere. You look at how we've been playing, like couldn't lose a game. And then all of a sudden we got absolutely tonked 3-0 by them. Really disheartening. But we got our frustrations out on Padova in the following game. We played Provercelli as well. Wonderful to see them again. If you're unaware, I made a series last FM where I managed Provercelli called Going Pro, where we climbed from the Serie C all the way up to the Serie A. I had a really fun time with them, so you should go and check that out as well. And it, again, you can see the cup run continued, an annoying 2-0 loss to Sampdoria. This was an interesting one because they'd offered us a job sort of tail end of our last season with Tuzlaspor. They'd offered us a position, and we made it very clear that we would join them, but we had to finish the season with Tuzlaspor because we had a month left of games, and they refused to take us on basically on those things. So that game was a little bit frustrating. There is our 3-0 win over Frosinone, getting our own back. Still yet to get our own back on Pescara, but that will be coming up on our next stream. And yeah, in general, things have been really solid. Some of our strongest players worth noting in this team. Grombeck, the absolute GOAT. He's been an absolute maestro for us playing as a Mezzala. I mean, pretty much every highlight that leads to a goal, he is involved in. He is either getting the assist, scoring the goal, or setting up the assist. He's, absolutely pivotal player for us, incredibly important. Tomo from Tano as well. At the start of the season, he wanted to leave. I think he may still want to leave. No, he doesn't. He's changed his mind. He's happy to stay, mainly because I think we're looking like we're going to get promoted. But he's been an absolute beast for us. The strikers, they're all chipping in, to be fair. We've got Siciliano, he's got 12 goals. Pingu has got 11. We've got our other Pingu, who is Brian Brobby. We have 2 Pingus, by the way. Don't worry about it. He's not been as great, but he has had some sizable injuries, so we'll let him off for that. 3 goals, 4 assists for him. Not the worst. Who is our other forwards? We've got Avari, he's got 8 goals, and then we've got Luca Anzalone, who's managed to pick up 4. Those 2 are definitely more super subby for us, but they're still contributing, which is really nice, and we're getting a handful of goals from midfield as well. In fact, everybody's pretty much contributing. You look at that starting 11, everyone in there has contributed at some point this season, so we're looking good. The Il Tacho has been just an absolute wonder, really has. The Mezzala's absolutely charging all over the place, whipping in crosses. The wing-backs get forward, everyone getting involved. I'm still not sure if I'm happy with the roles that I've got my 2 strikers playing, but so many of the players are advanced forwards and expect to be played as an advanced forward with their loan agreements. So we're stuck with that one, which is fine. I love an advanced forward, but it's the secondary role. And we did try 2 advanced forwards for a game. It didn't go so well. I think that was the 3-0 loss against Pescara. But yeah, in general, things are absolutely cooking for us. And as I say, looking at the league, we are 1 point clear at the top, game in hand, and our final run is going to be a really big challenge for us, I think. We had to sell a few players because, well, let's talk about this. Financially, the club hasn't been brilliant. You can see financial status okay at the top, but right at the start of the season, we were projected to be 30 million in the red, which is not a great position to be in as a club. It's very, very hard to make money in Italy unless you are selling players for profit. And we had a very, very frustrating moment about around the January transfer time, where they basically cut our wage budget down by 120k and took all of our transfer budget away from us. So I had to sell maybe 2 starting players, or at least maybe 3 or 4 players that were in and around the first team squad, to try and generate some funds to get rid of that wage problem. And then on top of that, I found in our youth setup a bunch of people that were too old for our under 20s but just weren't very good. So we managed to sell a few of them. I think we got a couple of mil in total for those guys. But yeah, really, really clawed at trying to make some money for this club. And if we actually look at the transfer history, we've not done too badly overall. You can see, like, we've made 53 million. Overall, we've managed to rake in 53 mil. The most notable one, again, of recent time, would probably be, where is he? Yeah, Paolo Bernardo. I loved Paolo Bernardo, worth mentioning at this point. Absolutely fantastic player for us. Was absolutely tearing it up. 7.35 over 23 games, 9 goals, 6 assists. You can't but help but think, why did you get rid of him? And it's ultimately because the club was in so much debt. So Besiktas came in for him for 11.5 million. It seemed like the right thing to do, shift him on, and he's become an incredible player for them. So good luck, Paolo. Hope it all goes well for you over in Turkey. Another notable transfer worth mentioning is us getting rid of Hugo, one of our other nicknames in the squad. A right wing back we were really using him as, although he's definitely more of a winger. Just a complete utility player for us, but we signed him on a free. We weren't using him that much. He'd been playing really well for us, but we weren't using him. Pisa came in with 3.6 mil. We figured we'd just shift him on and, yeah, raise a little bit of money for the club. So he's having a terrible time in Serie A, so maybe we dodged a bullet. Who knows? And that's where we kind of see ourselves right now. We've got, if I do my maths, 10 games left. That was quick. We've got 10 games left. Of those 10 games, I'd say Spezia is obviously a problem. They're sitting in second. They could be a tricky team. I'm going to include Pescara in that. They are currently 15th in the league, but they did do us. They did manage to beat us earlier in the season, so who knows? They might find a little bit of form and do well. Provercelli, again, arguably we should be beating them, but they could be a bit of a tricky team to play. Udinese, you'd think they would be a problem. I don't think they're going to be. They've been absolutely awful this season. They've been sitting down in 16th. I feel like we're going to breeze past them, but in these 10 games, I would say if we can win 8 of them, one of them being the Spezia game, we will win the Serie B. And after that, you've got to ask yourself, what's next for us and Lecce? Will we stick around? Will we go and find a new job? And ultimately, I don't know at this moment. We will have another year on our contract, so maybe we'll have a crack at just trying to survive in Serie A. I imagine that it's going to be a complete year of heartbreak and non-stop losses to much better teams than us. But having said that, we have beaten 2 Serie A teams on our rise through the Coppa Italia, so maybe we won't do so badly. Yeah, it's always a tricky one, I find, when you get in these scenarios. Will you play against the teams? Will you, do you want to move on? Do you want to go you up for the challenge? And I'm kind of torn. I really am kind of torn. But ultimately, all we're going to do is wait and see how we get on with the boys. And yeah, fingers crossed we can actually win the Serie B. That's where I'm going to leave things, though. If you are interested in seeing how our 10th season of the On The Med journey goes, please do come hang out over at twitch.tv/DeeBoiPlays. I stream there 3 or 4 times a week. Most of the time we're doing this On The Med journey, so if you do want to come hang out, it'd be awesome to see you. And yeah, other than that, I will see you there. Look after yourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Latest, folks.